Hello, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live, Elevate, episode 18. I tried to talk my wife into getting on camera today, but she's not going to do it. Hello. If you're out there, please say hello to us. I see we got somebody out there. Facebook Live, episode 18. What is the opposite of a victim? I know it's a little bit before 7. We try to come in a little early. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Somebody said, hi, family. Who is that right there? You see it, Shar? Oh, okay. Tell me who you are so I can see who you are, family. Hey, Miss Ann. Hello. How you doing? Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you coming on, as always. Looking forward to our meeting here. You know it's coming up. I hope you didn't erase us off your schedule. It's the 21st, I believe, 21st. So, she said, like a peacock. All right. So, of course, we're going to wait a little longer because we don't want anybody to miss the jokes. That's good. She said she's doing good. Miss Mother Brenda's there. Mother Brenda, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you guys. You guys are like the pillars. We really appreciate you. It's exactly 7 o'clock right now. I want to give a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. Like another person popped on. I don't know if I need quadrifocals, trifocals. I don't even know if those exist, or the screen's just little. I'm not sure. Well, what's up with the TU shirt last week? Oh. What is that? Oh. I hope, well, I'm still wounded. They're doing terrible. So I don't believe, hey, Auntie, I don't believe in, I don't believe in wearing that shirt when they're having a terrible season. It'd be different if I might be coming over. I'm one of those guys. I change teams. You might see purple. Coming pretty soon. I'll be wearing that, Texas A&M. A winning program, doing great things. Hey, Auntie Linda, good to see you on. She said, hi, Shar. Auntie Linda. We're on 3, so we're going to go ahead and move forward. And everybody, you guys are just in time for the jokes. So, that's the drum roll. Drum roll for the jokes. Why was Susan's dad kicking the computer? Shar? Shar says she don't know. Because he was trying to boot it up. She laughed on that and raised the eyebrow. I don't know if that's good or kind of good. Is that okay? Is that what it is? It's an okay joke. Because he was trying to boot it up. All right? So we got a half a laugh out of Shar. Aunt Stephanie's on. Hello. Thanks for coming on, Aunt Stephanie. It's funny, just aside, it's funny how the busy people are coming on too. I really appreciate you guys. Joke number 2. That was a stretch. Ann said that was a stretch. Why does the golfer bring an extra pair of socks? Char? Char's like, I'm doing things over here. Because he might get a hole in one. She laughed at that one. You hear it? I don't know if y'all can hear that. She actually laughed on that one. All right. That's all we need is one good laugh, and we keep it rolling for another week. So we got one more, though. This is my favorite. I try to save the best one for last, at least what I think is the best one. Which planet has the most cows? Miss Ann's laughed at the last one. Linda said one in a hole. Which planet has the most cows? The moon. The moon. You get it? So I guess she didn't laugh at that. She didn't laugh at that one. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, I guess we'll scratch that off. We won't be used in the future. All right. So anyway, thank you guys for coming out. Really appreciate it. We know it's Wednesday, and plus the seasons are changing, and that brings moods. People start feeling a little moody and kind of sluggish. But I like the brisk weather. I just don't like it when it's super cold. What we're talking about tonight is what is the opposite of a victim, part one. There will be two parts to this. Oh, Aunt Stephanie said the planet joke was awful! Exclamation point. We know, Aunt Stephanie. We know. So we wanted to just basically, I know you guys, some of this stuff we say is for the future, people that look at it in the future. So I know some of you guys are probably tired of hearing this, but thanks for joining us today. Most of you know me. For those that don't, I'm Curtis Carr. I have been in leadership for over 30 years and a training capacity for over 15. Charndale has been a business analyst and a project manager for over 10 years. She also runs her own business. Together, we make up the company E.L.E.V.A.T.E, and it's equipping the leaders of tomorrow. We focus on individuals and businesses, not just team training, but also from a business aspect as far as setting up your business plans, SOP, strategic, standard operating procedures, marketing strategies, but we have different packages, and we have the website up. So there's definitely opportunity there. If you go there, you can learn a lot about us. And also, if you have questions, you can email us there too. So it's info@wemustelevate.com. So housekeeping, we come on live once a week, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. And this is what we plan to do for the long haul. I think it's a great benefit for those that, maybe, not ready to do some of the packages, but if they can get something off these free broadcasts too. So we'll have it out there. They're being recorded and they're posted on the website. So we are a consulting agency. Who are we here for? We're here for the individual, personal, and business development. Number two, we're for the new and existing leaders looking for to get the tools they need to earn more money and become an impact player of their organization. Number three, for the business owner looking to increase sales, increase market share, and also reach that pinnacle. And that pinnacle is when you are an owner independent. That means you've got your business to the point where you can go on vacation for 6 months. So that is the pinnacle. That's the biggest challenge. Also, for the last group is the leader or the employer that's looking for somebody to come in and do trainings. We call that the E.L.E.V.A.T.E training program, which I call it the Bentley of business training programs. The E is for expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, effectiveness. And basically what we do in there is we take them through a series of training. Is like 9 to 10 hours. A lot of people split it up. I had one person just split it up, each letter for 1.5, 2 hours, and we did it for 6 weeks because ethics and vision we do together. Ethics and vision we do together. So how do we do it? We start off by getting to know you. We do assessments and questionnaires. So we are going to be having a Black Friday special. So just keep that in mind. Be on the lookout. We'll be having a Black Friday special. The way we conduct these Facebooks is that we really depend on your comments. So please feel free to chime in anytime you want to about anything. All right. In one word, I would like to just ask you guys before we get really rolling here, 7:07. In one word, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the opposite of a victim? Since that's our discussion today, what do you think is the opposite of a victim? And to give you guys a little time, what do you think is the opposite of a victim? And please, my wife's whispered, while they're thinking, ask them to like and share. So please like and share. That's my weakness. I say it every week. I never push that, but that's how we get it out. We can name Sarah. I think Aunt Linda. We had a person from Germany last week, and for us that's like exciting because I never would have happened if she didn't like and share. and she didn't have that conversation with her friend, and her friend came on and she sent me a friend request. So, and it was refreshing. Those are the things that, because sometimes your mind can play tricks on you. You're like, man, am I doing this in vain, or is this really impacting anybody? Should we drop the free segment of Elevate? No, we're gonna drop the free segment because it does make an impact. You just got to keep it rolling. So those are the things that we really appreciate. So, what do you think the opposite of a victim? And I will say this while you guys are thinking, please post. Are you getting anything on your side? Because it stopped on my side. Or maybe it didn't stop. Nobody typed anything yet. So when I read this, it really impacted me. It really impacted me, just the perspective of the writer who came up with this. But it's when I hope you guys feel the same when you guys hear it. We're definitely speaking to every group. You know how we start off talking about the 4 groups? Well, we're speaking to every group today. We're talking to the individual that wants personal development, the individual that has a business that wants business development or wants to start a business. We're talking to the new and existing leader with this subject. We're talking to the business owners who's trying to increase sales and market share. And we're talking to leaders out there that are already running a business and they want other people to come in and maybe do some training. They want us to come in and do some training. So this subject matter really hits everybody. So we get any responses? None? And you guys awake? Did somebody go get us a Coke or a drink or something and come back? What do you think is the opposite of a victim? Just trying to hear some ideas out there. Well, when I heard this, like I said, it really changed my entire perspective on life and the way I look at challenges and obstacles. But they said the opposite of a victim is a creator. The opposite of a victim is a creator. So, I mean, it's when you really think about that, it's really powerful because, we're going to go down later on and we're going to compare. Later on, we're going to compare creators and victims in their orientation and their mindset and their perspectives. But Aunt Linda said survivor. There you go. She said survivor. So, of course, it's no wrong answer. Well, there's a lot of right answers here. But from our perspective right now, it really moved me when they said a creator. So I immediately thought about a quote that Eleanor Roosevelt said years ago. She said, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people." And when you think of what we do many times, when we discuss people, many times we're criticizing or complaining or gossiping. Of course, it's not always negative, but a lot of times that's what we see when we're discussing people. Many times when we're discussing events, we're like, let me roll back to people. When we're discussing people, I want to give an example. Like, we're talking about today at work, how Dale is dating, what's the guy? Rich Paul, who's the sports coach. He's not really a sports coach. He's into marketing, and anyway, he's connected to LeBron James. So I don't know how long they've been dating. I just know that was one of those things that, we're discussing people, just light talk. When you discuss events, and many times you're having casual conversation and you're just reporting the news, and like what happened here in Houston with the concert where the 8 people passed away. Very unfortunate. And all the things that are following, all the rumors and stuff like that. Just reporting things that happen. Or, you hear that Dallas Cowboy talk. I hear it all the time. Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. So, but when you're discussing events, that's many times what you're doing. But when we discuss ideas, it's a little different. When we discuss ideas, many times we're sharing solutions to problems or solutions to make something that's good, great, or make anything better. So, like you're talking to somebody and they're talking about how they're struggling, and you come up with the idea, hey man, I know you're struggling. You're always saying that you're having a hard time getting over the hump. Have you ever decided to set up an emergency fund so when those situations hit you, you have money that you put aside to absorb that hit instead of just spending everything you got? Just an idea, man. But usually when we're discussing the idea, we're coming up with solutions. We're not just talking about people. We're not just talking about events. So when I think of creators, and it's about 7:13, so I'm trying to keep up, you guys. But when I think of creators, a list could be. It's a long list. It's no way we can go over the whole list. But the ones that come to mind from the old school is like the Albert Einsteins, the Thomas Edisons, the Madam C.J. Walkers, the George Washington Carver and the Peanut. You know, those are the things that come to mind. But the more modern era is the Dr. Domingo Leota, Dr. Shirley Jackson, Lonnie Johnson. You know, those are the ones that are kind of modern things that, you know, with heart. You know, Leota came up with the artificial heart, and Shirley Jackson is the one that came up with the technology for the cell phone, the call waiting, and other things, touch tone phone, fax machines. She's the one that came up with the technology for that. Changed our lives. Lonnie Johnson, you know, it's almost comical to say this out loud, but Lonnie Johnson's the one that came up with the super soaker. He's a marvelous inventor. I think he has over 250 patents, but that's the one he'll be known for. He was in the Air Force. He did a lot of things, but that's the one he's going to be known for, and that's the one that made him rich. Actually, you know, I think he sold it or sued him for not giving him his money, and settled a lawsuit like in 2013 or 14 for like 75 million for his share with Hasbro. So, but when you think of creators, you think of people that have brought something to this our environment or our culture that's different, something that has changed the way we live our lives. But the one I really want to highlight today is one that I know all of us have been impacted. We might not know a Lonnie Johnson. We might not know a Dr. Shirley Jackson or Dr. Domingo Leota. I'm pretty sure most of us know Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein. But this one here, I'm getting ready to bring up, everybody knows this one. And it's Walt Disney. Walt Disney. Walt Disney, the story's amazing. But what I want to share first is that, you know, if you think about it, if you say, well, I don't know, I heard of Walt Disney. Well, they own ABC. They own ESPN. They own all the Disneylands. They own cruise ships, A&E, Lifetime Network. Disney is in the Fortune 50 of companies out there. So Walt Disney was the beginner of this. He died in 1966, but his life was amazing. And a lot of times when you read his story, you'll see a lot of the things that we talk about on these calls. So I'm going to do a quick, what do they call it, 30,000 feet above, quick snapshot of Walt Disney, just so you can kind of get an idea, because this is a creator. This is a creator. So first off, Disney revolutionized the entertainment industry by creating films, theme parks, and characters such as Mickey Mouse. He took the risk and introduced a completely different way of entertainment. His early life, he was born in Chicago, raised in Kansas City. He eventually ended up moving to L.A. That's where he got big. His father owned a newspaper company. He would spend several hours drawing before school and after school. And he really grew strong in art. And eventually, that's when he knew he wanted to do it, when he ended up drawing a picture for one of his neighbors. He drew a picture of the neighbor's horse. And that's when he said, you know what? I can get paid for this. I want to do this for a living. The other side of Disney is that he dropped out of high school at age 17 to serve in the World War I. After serving briefly overseas as an ambulance driver, he returned to Kansas City for an apprenticeship as a commercial illustrator. Now, he later made primitive animated advertising cartoons, but he soon after returned he decided to move to L.A. because there was a lot more opportunity. And he moved to L.A. with his brother, and they started a cartoon studio. They were soon contracted by a popular New York film distributor named Charles Mintz. Mintz and Disney battled with conflicting interests. At this point, he had the story of Adventures in Wonderland, which Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which was popular. But Disney had a lot of different ideas, and he didn't always jive with Mintz. So they eventually parted ways. And when they parted ways, Mintz took over half of Disney Studios and copyrights. Devastating. But that was the contract they had, so he walked away with it. But the thing that I love about this, I like that. That wouldn't have happened. Mother Brenda, can I ask this? Would that happen to be the cruise ship you were on? She said everything is done intentionally at Disney, which is true. I know people that have been in the internship in the Disney program, and everything is intentional. I mean, they are very big on customer service. They're big on how their corporation gels with the environment and how they're perceived by their community. So how did he respond? He starts blowing up, and then all of a sudden he decides to split from Mintz, a popular New York film distributor. But how did he respond? he comes out with a movie called Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie blew up, and the star of Steamboat Willie was Mickey Mouse. He came up with a new character. He blew up, and because of that release of that main character, uh, that name became worldwide, and it opened the door for him for decades to really achieve many things, that breakout movie. But the thing that I love about it, it was because of the separation from Mintz and how he overcame that challenge and came out with something strong. He could have easily put his head down. He could have easily complained, but he didn't do that. Uh, Following the creation of Mickey Mouse, Disney dominated the next few decades and created several new blockbuster characters. And you guys know there's a whole bunch of characters with Disney. But the birth of Disneyland, that's powerful. Disney at the because he wrote that movie with Mickey Mouse. Eventually, he had the means to do other things. His vision was growing, and he thought that, hey, people want to be able to touch their heroes, their characters that they look at the movies. So he created a theme park called Disneyland. Now, the first day Disneyland opened, and this was back in 1955, the first day it opened, it was over 200,000 people at the door. Can you imagine? We just had a concert with Travis Scott, and I was blown away that 50,000 people were there. Well, Disneyland opened its doors. It had 200,000 people on the first day, and it opened in July. They finished the year with 3 million customers that visited that year. 3 million customers. So notable movies: Dumbo, Cinderella, 101 Dalmatians, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, Fantasia, Toy Story, Jungle Book, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles. Of course, a lot of those Mr. Disney was already passed away, but his organization, the one that he birthed, gave birth to all these movies that have touched all of us. Like I said, Disney owns ABC, ESPN, A&E, Lifetime, Lucasfilms. They own Star Wars, and Disney's on the Fortune 50 list. So awesome story of a creator. So when I think of creator, I think of Disney, and I love the fact how he overcame things. And I'm a big guy. We even have it on our website. What makes us unique as a company is that we're a company led by doers, and Disney was a doer. He's a guy that got in there and made things happen. And one of the things he said, and it's a famous quote by him, he said, "Somehow I can't believe there are any heights that can't be scaled by a person who knows the secret of making dreams come true." He said, "There's nothing a person can't accomplish once you know the secret of making dreams come true. Nothing." He said, "The special secret seems to me to be summarized in 4 C's." And that's kind of like what we're going to talk about today for these next few minutes. He says, the secret to making dreams come true can be summarized in 4 C's: curiosity, confidence, courage, and constancy. Curiosity, confidence, courage, and constancy. And what I like to do here is just 7:21. I like to keep track. Oh, hey, Dad, Mom and Dad are on the line. Welcome. I hope you guys are able to hear the beginning. I always like my mom to hear the jokes, but on the orientation, I wanted to really talk about comparing the orientation of a creator compared to a victim. So what he listed was, he said, hey, curiosity, confidence, and courage and constancy. Those are the things you need. That's the secret sauce if you want to make dreams come true. So, but when you think about a creator, curiosity, and then compare it to a victim orientation or perspective, they tend to criticize. You got one, the creator is curious, and it causes him to investigate. It causes him to do a little work to find out how things work and how things go. And then you have the victim orientation that comes in and criticizes. They just sit back and criticize. Under confidence, the creator has confidence, but the victim tends to complain. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever right. Not necessarily producing, but they're complaining. Under the creator, you have courage because they stepped out and did something that a lot of people wouldn't do. Under the victim orientation, you have fear. They use the criticism and the complaining to justify the fear mainly. Then lastly, you have constancy under the creator, and the victim orientation. You basically have a person that's unprepared. And if you compare the two, it's a lot easier being a victim. It's a lot less work. It's easier to sit back and criticize, complain, be fearful, and unprepared. But if you a creator orientation, a creator mindset, a creator perspective is one of curiosity, confidence, courage, and constancy. And that's what we see in Disney. That's what we see in the Elon Musk and the Bill Gates and the other people. You know, we always highlight the top dogs, but man, there's a lot of people out there that are making things happen. And when you sit with them, you find they think differently. They don't think like us a lot of times, or maybe like some of you guys, they probably do. But I know they don't think like me, and I'm trying to get there. I want to think like how they think. But you know, you present a problem, they're coming up with solutions, and after a while, they're like, well, this guy, you know, if you keep complaining, they'll be like, well, you just want to complain. You're not trying to find solutions. But here it is. This guy died in 1966, and his famous quote is, besides the one I read, he said, "I hope people never forget." Walt Disney said, "I hope people never forget. It all began with a mouse." And that's so powerful because remember, he had Alice in Wonderland first. That was his first big hit, but he doesn't consider that his first. He said it began with the mouse. That's when he was able to exercise his will and his freedom to build the company the way he wanted to. So in his mind, he said, "Hey, and boy, and knows how to make a guy feel good, boy." She said, "Curtis is the fifth C." I like that. I like that. I like that. So I appreciate that. So, you know, what I try to do with people I work with is try to get them to be on that left side, the curiosity, the confidence, the courage, the constancy. You know, stay away from that criticizing, stay away from that complaining, stay away from being fearful, stay away from being unprepared, and to see this guy, he actually helped start a university in California that works on fine arts. The story is amazing. If you just get a chance, the story is amazing when you look at Walt Disney, and then it's really amazing when you look at what Walt Disney Disney Corporation what they touch as in the world, and they're considered one of the most responsible companies out there as far as socially responsible. They work in their communities, they give money away, they have internships, they make an impact. So to let me know if you got anything out of this. This is part one. Part two, I really want to talk about how the creator versus the victim and how it plays out in relationships. The creator versus the victim and how it plays out in relationships. Just think about it. You guys know. Just think about, you know, you can go through your friend list in your mind right now and you can say, that's a creator. Oh, that's a victim there. Oh, that's another victim. Oh, that's another victim mentality. You know, my goal is to stay away from victim-minded people. You know, it's just, you get caught up in it. It's like a mess. And next thing you know, you're caught up in the mess, and really the issue is the mindset. And if the mindset doesn't change, then they'll always have the mess. So it's 7:27. Let me know if what you think about this. If you thought it was good, please let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. But creator versus victim. What is the opposite of a victim? Part one. We'd like to have some feedback out there, because I guess what do we normally say? Put some ones up if you liked it. If you have some questions, and especially if you ever have questions, and this after the call, just email us. info@wemustelevate.com. info@wemustelevate.com. So I'm going to do, because I wasn't planning on, thank you, Ann. Appreciate it. Thank you, Aunt Stephanie. You know, we normally list the next 5. Mother Brenda said you have to soar like an eagle and stay away from the crows and the chickens. Yeah. And the buzzards and the hogs. And there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. Kevin. It's my coworker. Hey, appreciate it, Kevin. Appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate it. This is Char's coworker. I appreciate it when people come on. But yeah. Appreciate you guys coming on because I know you guys have stuff to do. That's why we make it the fastest 30 minutes in social media. We make it quick. What I'm going to do is list the next 6 Facebook Lives because there's a part 2 to this, because we're going to talk about how the victim versus the creator in relationships, how it plays out. And then after that, we're going to talk about dealing with disappointment. Next is my chief enemy. Next is in the arena. You know, I like that because I like those battle stuff. I like that kind of stuff. In the arena. Next is cyclosclerosis, the hardening of your attitude. Cyclosclerosis, the hardening of your attitude. And it's funny because the number one killer in America is actually physical heart disease. You get heart disease, number one killer. But we're going to talk about cyclosclerosis, the hardening of your attitude. And then the last of the 6, and you know we're going to keep going, is the one word we cannot escape. The one word we cannot escape. And that word is choice. The one word we cannot escape. Choice. So, you know, we always end on time. We really appreciate you guys coming out. Kevin, I love the fact that you came on and spent some time with us. If you have any questions, I would love you to check out the website, WeMustElevate.com. We have a lot of offerings there. If you can like and share, we love everybody to like and share. That's how we get the word out. We will be having some Black Friday specials coming up, depending on the mind of this special woman over here that just comes up with stuff all the time that I can't keep up with. And then she acts like I'm supposed to keep up, you know. So definitely it's 7:30 now. You know, our tagline is be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.